Hey guys, it's Sammy, and this is kind of a belated video because I was kind of not feeling well last week and I had a lot of work, but I'm here to answer the ultimate question: how is the college experience thus far? And I'd actually have to say it's not that bad. Usually, well, back in high school, it was very structured. You knew what you were pretty much going to do throughout the whole 4 years. You saw the same teachers almost every day. We had a day where you can come in late to school, which was called Late Start Tuesday. And then some days you'd have early release. And then obviously you had lunch. You had a designated time for lunch. College, it's free reign. There's so much control that you have that's not really dictated by anyone else, really. Just really maybe by the major, the G's that you have to get out of the way. So you choose what time your classes are, well, when it's available, and you can make your own time for lunch. You don't see your teachers. Some classes you don't see your teacher every day. Or you can have a class where you do see your teacher every day and other classes where you don't. And that's sort of my favorite things about college, is that you're given so much control and free reign. There's no such thing as, oh no, you're gonna have to see this teacher every day and now you're going to have this test and this. You still have tests. Depending on what it is, it could be easier or harder than high school. I'm taking biology, college biology, and I think it's just as easy as high school. But that's me personally. And the tests, depends what class. Could be easy, could be hard. But most of it's just, not all my classes have tests. Not all my classes give tests or quizzes. My English class doesn't. My weight training class, no, I had to take the weight training class, by the way, as a lab for a different class that does give 4 tests. The bad part about college is it depends on totally what professor. You don't get a lot of extra credit. But a good part about college is sometimes they just don't give a crap if you are late to their class, if you don't show up at least a day. There's no such thing as, in high school, if you came to school late, you got to go to silent detention-y thing. There's none of that. They don't care. They don't care in college. So that part's really cool. And my experience has just been really good so far. Only bad things, of course, are everyone's least favorite things ever: tests, quizzes, and lots of papers. My English class is how to analyze media through the lenses of gender, race, class, and sexual preference, something like that. So we had to write papers analyzing media. Our first paper was about analyzing picture ads. Then our second one, which was long, this 12 pages, including MLA Works Cited, 12 pages. Yes, it might be double spaced, so it's still 12 pages. And it was comparing 2 shows and or 2 songs of your choice. It didn't have to be 12 pages, it just ended up that way. But really long. So now we have to analyze a movie. It's a research paper and it has to be, I think, 10 plus pages. So that class, a lot of writing. I don't know what else she basically grades us on, because we only had 3 papers to do, and now we're watching movies, that's great, and we don't have to analyze as much as, let's say, literature class, but we do have to analyze using those 4 lenses I mentioned earlier. Then I have biology, and was my parents' friend actually teaches the class, and there's a kind of high expectation, I think, for me to do well. and it's not that hard. I kind of feel like I sleep through the class. I feel like I probably come off as that kid who doesn't care, but really I'm like, oh, I got an A on the test. I actually try to keep my grades like a secret in a weird way because I don't want to sound like, oh, I am the best student ever, blah, 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 blah. I'm A. I'm on the A team. I'm much better than you now. I'm not going to say it out loud or rub it in your face that I got an A. No, I'm not like that. I'm not going to do it. Especially when some of you, the other thing that's different about college and high school, in high school you're almost likely to be the same age. If you're, 16, the other people around you are probably 16. Only some of them will be a little bit older or younger, but usually it's months, not really years. College, free reign on that too. You're going to have someone who's 40-something in your class. You're going to have someone who's maybe close but 20-something. Some of them are already married and they're like, oh yeah, my husband, and you're kind of thrown off. Because if you said that in high school, you'd be like, that's weird. It's just weird. So there's that class. Also English too, I'm doing pretty well on. I think getting A- on the papers. We have 3, so 2 of them A-. And I try to not say it because everyone else around me were getting like, some of them B+, some of them C+ or lower, so I was not going to try to mention that. Then I had this one class where I woke up at 7 in the morning, or before 7 in the morning, before it starts at 7 in the morning. And it's Health 100, and I have a very, very loud, he's like, I am like the rightest of the right person, but he's a crazy loud teacher, but he's awesome and funny at the same time. And then he has his buddy who's a student of his once before. He's the tennis coach, and the main guy, or the really loud coach, Coach Gerhardt, is actually the cross-country coach. So he has the coach voice. The other guy, Coach Yancey, he's the tennis coach. He doesn't really have the coach voice, but it's like you have a comedy duo as teachers, because one's like really loud, really boisterous, the other one's like, okay, you gotta stop. Yancey has to do this and tell Coach Gerhardt to stop being crazy sometimes. Because he'll go on a rant, he'll rant about PETA, he'll rant about whatever. He calls all of us rat bastards because that's the name of one of his favorite root beers ever. And then he's proud of being from graduated from Emma's and Zoe's college. Hey, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And then he also complains about his twin brother who's a lawyer. And he's a really fun teacher. He's a really fun teacher. And then for a lab in that class, because there's so many, Health 100 in this college lets you do so many different types of labs. You could basically, you're not really designated to do like the Health 100 lab or something. You could do weight training, you could do, I think, cross country, you could do something. You could do tennis, I think was one of the ones, as a lab for that. So to get the lab and the actual class out of the way. So I chose weight training. Might sound weird because I was actually a runner and I played lacrosse and I played field hockey in high school, so that might sound weird. But weight training helps with osteoporosis, which women tend to, I'm a girl, women tend to get it more. And I never really tried anything with weights because, again, I was like a runner, did runner things a lot. I did track in middle school. So it was really cool to try weight training stuff. I got to wear hobo gloves. I had this weird, if no one knows this, I have a weird affinity for gloves, especially fingerless gloves, which I refer to as hobo gloves. Hobo gloves. And they feel really nice, and I like wearing them, even while playing video games, for no reason, because I can. Free country. So that's actually a really fun class. Now I'm like able to lift more, and now I know different exercises. Sometimes I probably try to put on the I'm a newbie beginner weight face sort of thing on, and I just sit there and go, hey, I don't know how to do this, which I really don't. Free weights seem really scary to me because the other ones are assisted, so there's not really a chance that something could fall on you and hurt you. Free weights is like, something could fall on you and hurt you. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be hurt at all. And then I just sit there, I'm like, I don't know what this is called. So we actually have a sheet that you write what exercise or whatever you decided to do that day. There's no cardio machines in this weird, I need to tell you about where this whole thing takes place. It's in a really creepy, almost prison-like weight room that on the outside looked like some containment prison center, but then when you unlock it, it looks sort of normal. There's a hallway and 3 rooms on each side, and 2 rooms are classrooms, and 5 rooms are for different types of workouts. No cardio machines. It's all 3 rooms, all weights. 1 room is just padded with the giant rope things that you do this with, which I just call giant double Dutch rope things. They're heavy. You might not think so, but they're heavy. And then you don't realize there's a second story. You see it in this one room where it's all wood floor that you can't bring any of the weights into, or there's nothing weighted in there because it would hurt the wood floor. By the way, this place is already old, so things will kind of look a little bit creepy. There'll be like a daddy long leg spider hanging out on its web. You're like, hi, please don't drop on me while I'm exercising. But in that one room where there's wood, you just look up and then you see it. You see it up there. It's a not only is it the second story balcony looking thing, it has a chain link fence right there. Because I guess, I don't know, you play racquetball or something that could hurt someone up there, but there's not a door to that room. It's more of a cutout. So if you were playing racquetball, something would fly out and hurt someone in the free weight room, which is right across the way, but whatever. Second story, chain link fence. So you know it's there, but it's dark, and you're like, this is creepy. The whole thing is kind of creepy when the lights, especially when the lights aren't turned on. But if you just sit in that room, you stare up at the second story, you're like, why? Just why? Why is it there? Why? Why is it all creepy? Why are we in a prison-looking thing? And that's, and then my other class this semester was... It was another fast track, which means it only takes place between, it's only half of the semester. The other fast track is my weight training class. My other one was this counseling class that helped me find out what I wanted to do as a major, which, hey guys, future microbiologist up in here. Whoop whoop, STEM field. High fives, fellow STEMmies. That's you, Megan. STEM high five. And you, Nicole. But yeah, it was a really helpful class. Again, what's cool about college, you can choose your own classes. So next semester, though, when they're full, it sucks. You have sign-in times, and it sucks when you aren't the first set of sign-in times. When you're a freshman, you are. Only for the first semester. The second semester, you're like, hopefully I'm in the first set again. No. There's 2 classes I was able just to straight out get into, pay off. The other 2 is like, wait, one of them, it was closed, both of them were closed for like a long time. And one of them opened, I quickly jumped in the wait list, then the other one's still closed, and I'm like, I guess I have to crash that class. Yes. Again, there's things that are different between any year in school, from elementary school to high school and college. There's no such thing as crashing or really dropping a class and all those other years. High school you could sort of do it, but you had to switch and fulfill some sort of requirements. College you could be like, okay, you know what? This class is too hard, or I don't like this teacher. Greatest thing ever, ratemyprofessor.com or ratemyprofessor.org, whatever it's called, just Google it. That helps you choose a schedule in a way, because if someone's getting really bad ratings, just don't do it. It's not fair. Or talk to the counselors if you hear there's something about, let's say the physics department has a bad rep for being bad or really hard. You could take it at a different college if it's community, especially if it's a community. So I went over to my professor, checked out stuff, found these perfect times too, classes. One of them became waitlisted, finally got to jump onto that. Other one was like, oh, hi, I'm sitting here and I'm still closed. You could crash a class. You can literally go into the class, sit there and be like, I know people aren't going to attend the first few days, which the first few days, teachers don't all the time take roll after the first few days, because the first few days are like, okay, this is the last day you could draw, this is the last time where it's going to be considered a 0 or something like that. So if you're not there, fair game. Anyone who's waitlisted, anyone who's crashing, you could go be in that class. And there was never a class this semester that I didn't see someone who was waitlisted or didn't see someone who was crashing that didn't make it in. Or that was like, you have to adamantly try, and pretty much you don't really have to prove yourself unless it just depends on the professor, but you could just sit there and go like, hey, you know, sometimes you got a crappy time to sign up. This class was closed. I decided to go here. I'm just going to sit here in this class until, you know, I'm part of this class and you can become part of it. Doesn't matter. Some professors care, most professors just don't. So I gotta crash a class next semester. Technically two, because one of it is the normal class and the other one is its lab, and it's chemistry, which I have to take concurrently or before this other class, the one I got waitlisted for next semester. That's great. The college experience also was sort of scary in the beginning. In general, starting from my very first semester was this semester. Because despite there apparently being a lot of people from our high school going to this community college, whether it's the intention to transfer or not, I'm transferring. You didn't really see, because like I said, everyone could pick their schedule, you didn't really see any of them, and of course I didn't know everyone in my high school, so I didn't really see some people who I considered friends that were going. I'm like, where are you? Texting them, and they're like, I got class at 6, I got class later, I don't have class today. I felt really lonely, and then I made a friend in my English class, the Analyzing Media one, and her name is Gabby. Yes, we already know there's a Gabby on this channel, but it's not the same Gabby. Both Gabby, I refer to her as Gabby 2, might be me, because Gabby number 1 is you on this channel. Our fellow super nerdy sister, Gabby. She is number 1 Gabby. But I refer to her as Gabby 2. She was really into anime, and I could see it. I'm like, oh, she's sort of like a nervous type. Totally, mostly like our friends. Like, jumped basically on her and was like, you're gonna be my friend, and we're friends now. So I made friends. I met her other friend who goes to college. Then I did find some of the friends who came from our high school and were hiding. So thanks, Jerry, for being there. Richard/Matt, I kind of saw you. Leah, saw you too. And then, of course, staying connected through this channel and through constantly texting and getting occasional calls from Giovanna. The rest of our super nerdy sisters and other friends who went to UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC whatever, and some odd other colleges in different states and different parts of California. Great. So I still have them. I will always still have you guys, which feels really nice. It's not like I'm completely alone, isolated, sitting like this, needing to go rock back and forth. No, you guys still exist, and I love you no matter what. Just don't start doing drugs. I already have a friend who's going to Chico. Someone was having some drunk experiences. Cade. And then there's some friends who are still local, relatively, who are in city colleges, very, very close to this city, so I still see them. So I still see Chris, I still see you, Chris, I'm Chris Magot. Still see, well, I still contact and almost saw you, Garrett Lowry, still almost saw you. And then I still see Estefania because she's going to the same college as me, so yay. The college experience is, in a nutshell, depends on you, how hard you want to try, how hard you want to go work. You can either make it easy for yourself or hard. It's almost like high school with the amount of, sort of with the amount of work in a way, and the type of work that you do, but with more freedoms. And you get to do things that you never thought you would really do or look at. So even in labs, you could do some weird things. You'll meet people who you never would have met before. Or who like fields that you really liked, but you might not know so much about it. So Gabby too. Gabby likes anime. I like anime, but she knows totally more and can speak some Japanese and is taking Japanese at our college, so she kind of teaches me some stuff. Then, like, just make friends, the college experience, make friends, so that you don't feel alone. It's always scary the first few weeks because it's alone. I never had any trouble moving in because I didn't have to move in. I'm in my room. Stayed in my house. The great privileges about that is that my grandparents, both sets, are still alive, so I can still take food. It's great because I could just go to their house and say, I'm hungry, and one of them just asks, what do you want? And I say what I want. Or I just ask, what do you have to make? And she'll present a great dish. So I save a lot of money because I don't have to go out and buy food that much. I don't have to go travel really, really far or anything. I don't have to do a lot of stuff money-wise, so my money isn't going down for needy reasons. It's more like, oh, I decided to go shopping would be my reason. So I am trying to look for a job, which is good. And I'm just pretty much abusing the grandparents with their whole, hey, you can make me food system. Because why not? Grandparents make the bestest food. They make you cookies, they make you tacos, they make you random things. You can name it. They teach you how to cook. They help you cook. They applaud when you're cooking. They go look after your little brother. Great thing is I'm not away from family, so my college experience doesn't involve homesickness. It doesn't involve me going, I'm not gonna see my family on Thanksgiving, or I'm gonna see them on Thanksgiving and Christmas. But those are the only 2 times that I see them, and some of the other friends on the channel do not have that problem. And some people do because they live farther away. So it feels really good that I'm literally with them every day. So I don't have to experience like, oh my god, homesickness. There's always a confidant basically nearby. I just don't have to feel the feeling of, oh no, there's no family with me. I'm really, really alone. So college experience, not alone. Don't have that feeling anymore, friend-wise, otherwise. I'm doing well in school. Sometimes I need to kick my butt a little bit for procrastinating. And it's just all around going really well. I hate doing work. Everyone does, because sometimes it's too much and sometimes you think the work is stupid. But whatever. You have to do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. And I finally managed to make time to at least play some video games because I love it. And I can't not do that. And new experiences like working out and buying hobo gloves. So yeah, fellow super nerdy sisters and our super forgot our thing. Super Doodle Squad. Love you all.